So I was meant to talk about this a while ago, and I never got around to it. But it's one of those things that it comes across my timeline every now and again, and it genuinely fascinates me because it speaks to a kind of event where young men get involved with internet subcultures, and the subculture takes on a life of its own. And inside the bubble, the paradigm of the subculture, all of these things make sense. But outside of it, you kind of look mad. And I mean, I'm not saying there's nothing to it or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a very strange way of looking at the world, because I don't really see women being that impressed with all of this. I'm sure there are going to be women who are interested in these guys. Don't get me wrong, any guy can get a woman, really. But there are so many other factors outside of just looking pretty that get you women. I mean, don't take my word for it. I'm obviously the #1 YouTube looksmaxxer, causing cortisol spikes wherever I go because of my generationally profound aura, or whatever the lingo is, right? I don't know any of the lingo. But no, I'm 46. I'm married for 10 years. I've got 4 kids, right? So none of this is my problem or something I would ever think about for a second. But also, I never thought about that when I was young, right? When I was young, I was thinking about physically doing things, not treating myself like a woman, because this whole subculture is really kind of adopting the women's framing on themselves and applying it to men, as if men see each other through the lens of, men, I guess. Like, women tend to actually like guys who are competent, right? They like guys who are capable of doing things. And the whole looksmaxxing subculture is essentially putting on the mask of competence, virtue, strength, vitality. And that's why I think this generational aura loss was so bad. I mean, my hair is my own hair. I'm lucky enough to still have my hair. Honestly, actually, I'm not like even joking. At my age, my dad was bald as anything. So very lucky I got my hair from my mum's bloodline. My granddad on my mum's side had a good head of hair when he died. But it really does. What was I going with this? No, this sort of stuff is interesting because in my experience, most women have been interested in charisma and competence. And what this looksmaxxing stuff is essentially a kind of way of compensating for not having charisma or competence. And so the whole thing looks kind of put on. It's a whole fiction of I have the visage of someone who has been living a certain kind of life without living that certain kind of life. And so when I mean, we'll play this just when Androgenic here gets his hair stolen. Oh, fucking hell. That's rough, man. That's rough. I see. Now, I didn't know anything about this, right? But I mean, oof. Oregon. I mean, this guy looks like he's at a footy match, right? Come on, you Reds. He's not. He's gone from looking like a young Greek statue to a football yob, and it's just very, very interesting how that works, isn't it? But the whole thing was a performance. Like, his entire demeanor has changed. And look at this. Look at the way he's standing. Like, very confidently, but it's all a front, it's all a fake, and suddenly, oh no, my cortisol spiked, and now he is himself just instantly diminished. It's like, okay, well, that's only possible if you are a giant fake. And it was like when Clavicular was doing was it push-ups or like barbell raises or whatever it was, and he couldn't lift a certain weight, and everyone was like, oh right, okay. It's like, well, this is all women wearing makeup, right? Because, so just to be clear, right? And this is what I mean by it's the attitude of women applied to men. And then you've got the kind of hyper competitiveness of young men applied to what is essentially women's work. So I'm not trying to be insulting. I honestly think this is what's happening, right? So women are very focused on the way they look. because men are attracted to looks. Now, women are, of course, everyone's attracted to looks to a certain degree, right? You know, someone who is good looking will always be a preferable thing, a preferable person, if all other things are equal to someone who is ugly. So if you're there, you've got two school janitors walking past you, one just happens to be super good looking, like Androgen with his hair, and one happens to look like Androgen without his hair, well, you know which one a woman's going to choose, right? If she's inclined to choose either. So it's not that looks don't matter, and looks matter to women as well to a degree, but not to the degree that they matter to men. Looks really matter to men. And actually, actions matter a lot to women. Charisma actually really matters a lot to women. I've seen really normal looking guys in my time get really attractive women because they make them feel good. They make them feel like they are the center of the universe. They make them feel excited. They don't know what they're going to do next. Things are happening. And I've seen women who go for guys who are big and powerful because they look like they are physically capable of doing things. I've seen women go for guys who are funny just because they make them laugh and they like spending time around them. Again, making them feel good in some way. Either they feel protected, they feel curious about what's going to happen next, or they're just entertained by being in his presence. Lots of things make women want to be with you. This isn't one of them, actually. There are going to be women who are attracted to these sorts of guys because of the focus on them, the status these guys have. There's a certain kind of woman who is very interested in a guy with high status and will actively pursue high status guys. I mean, all women to a certain extent like status in their men, but some women are much more concerned about it than others. And so, you know, these guys who are engaging in this kind of status competition will find women. But this is not the only way to find women. And it's very, like, it's like I said, it's the very much the women's thing of wearing, like making themselves beautiful, right? Because men are basically mostly attracted to looks. Whereas that's not the sole province of things that can get a woman attracted to you. And so androgenic here was like, you know, oh look, you know, I'll play it off. And, you know, here's someone stealing my wig. But people were like, oh, right, okay. So this is kind of like the WWE drag race thing, because when he took his hat off, it became very, very apparent that he's wearing makeup. Like, why are we doing this, bros? What are you doing? Why can people literally be like, oh yeah, WWE drag race backstage content? And that being actually a good description of what's happening here. Like, so, the reason I think that they're doing this is because when men have a game, right, when you lay out the rules of engagement, then you can be hyper competitive within this space and anything goes, right? So, like, for example, no denying, looks very handsome there. Bit of a weird drag queen there. And just to be clear, right, it is shocking how much they are correct about this, right? The hair really matters. The hair really matters. Like, it just really, the difference is startling. And there are loads of videos you can find on TikTok of people like putting a picture up but cut out like the mouth or something, and so where you know, the whole package actually really matters in your face as to whether you look good or you look weird, right? So just to be clear, that is true. But anyway, when you've got like a frontier, right, where there's the rules of the game that can be played, you get this hyper-competitive sort of masculine instinct, but it's being done in what is essentially kind of like a drag queen thing, where it's like, yeah, I'm going to try and look as beautiful as possible to mog people. And so, well, basically anything goes. Well, yeah, I'm going to wear a wig. I'm going to wear makeup. I'm going to, like, walk around with a fake posture or whatever. And it's just like, okay, guys, I think I understand the desire to be competitive and to win at things. I completely understand. I'm a really competitive person. But this is kind of gay. I just find this completely gay and really funny. And I love the idea. There's some guys like there go, yeah, I'm mogging this guy. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm having a good day. Not knowing that my cortisol is spiking or something like that, right? Anyway, so this all comes from, like, this is what I mean. Like, this is all about competition for men within their own domains, right? I don't think women have any particular interest in this at all. And it just seems to be autistic men, not even autistic, but like men autistically competing with one another. It's like, okay, look, that's great, but I don't really care about any of this. Like, how to describe it? It feels very much like women competing with each other, right? As in, I mean, again, throughout my entire life, you just can't. I could never understand women's bitchy comments about each other's looks. Just couldn't understand it. Who cares? Who cares? But they cared because this was the sort of thing that mattered to them. And all I can see is that applied to this. And so, whatever. Very weird. And this is what I mean about, like, this sort of thing. I mean, look at this, right? So, when you give men a game that they can play to compete against one another, a lot of them will just go out of their way and just do this one thing over and over until they become absurd in that way. And so I've seen these things where you get like squidgy balls or whatever, you chew them to build up these muscles here. And I mean, come on. Like, you didn't do this for women, did you? You did this to jaw mog your friends or people on the internet or something because you're a bit autistic and you kind of need a social life. And you end up looking really silly. And with the, the hammer thing, banging your cheeks and stuff, it's like, I don't know, man. I was just getting laid. I was just going out and charming women and getting laid and then getting married and like having kids. I don't know, man. Like, all of this, whatever you're doing here, I feel like it's a rabbit hole that ends in a cul-de-sac that doesn't go anywhere other than this. You've got to live your entire life looking like that now, man. Like, why have you done this to yourself? So I can mog other men on the internet. You don't understand how much done, so I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not trying to be mean. But it's like, guys, this is completely unnecessary, right? Just be relatively normal and just be pleasant to be around. It's actually really easy to find yourself a half-decent woman. But I actually quite enjoyed Andrew Jennick's response to all of this because he got in a big hoo-ha about this. And he posted this video.
The looksmaxxing niche is only going to get bigger because it's so self-reinforcing. I get my wig snatched off in public and I just get millions of people telling me I look disgusting. And look, you might be right, but you're just proving the importance of looks more.
Now, in a way, he's not wrong. Looks do matter, right? Looking reasonable, handsome, as half decent, it does matter. It is nice to look good. I wouldn't know, but I can tell from other people. No, I'm joking. It is nice to look good. But if you are turning yourself into something that is basically totally artificial, you're wearing your wig, you're wearing your makeup, you're posturing around, again, it just feels much too narcissistic to want to be involved or to think anything positive or serious about it, right? Yeah, good looks are a product of physical and genetic health. Let me channel my inner Ed Dutton here, right? So if you have a healthy lifestyle, you eat well, you eat good meat, so you build up your muscles and your jaws, you get regular exercise, so you build up some arm muscles and shoulder muscles and chest muscles, all this sort of thing, and you do a lot of physical exercise, so you're slim and you're healthy. Yeah, not that I know about that. You end up looking decent, right? You end up looking quite good. If you spend all of your time faking it, well, then it's just another inauthentic aspect of modernity that everyone knows is just fake BS that can be stolen away from you as soon as they snatch your wig. So at the end of the day, it's not that looks, and no one's ever said that looks don't matter, but looks are not the only thing that matters. And even without your wig, you're not hideously ugly. You're actually kind of normal looking. I mean, this sort of guy, terror of council estates, no doubt, definitely ends up having a kid at about 19, popping out a whole brood with Stacy, and ends up in his Barrett new build. Perfectly reasonable life. Like, goes down the pub, gets on with his life, completely normal. Right? That's the thing. You're actually just quite normal, mate. And a lot of people are, frankly. So anyway, I don't even know where I'm going with all this. I haven't got like a fully fleshed out thesis or anything, but it's just like, listen, right? Just relax. Just chill. You've gone down an internet rabbit hole. You're obsessing over one aspect of a very multifaceted experience in life. It's not that big a deal, actually. You will also grow old. You will also lose your looks. Trust me, I know. And it's not the end of the world. And there are other aspects of yourself that you will need to develop over time. So just calm down. Like, just stop being so autistic and hyper-focused. And honestly, having a competitive scene with kind of male drag queens, like looking the most pretty, just rethink yourself, right? Rethink, is this what men do? Is this what being a man is in the modern world? Is this what women actually want? And just get some perspective. That's my advice.